Good morning. I'm Heather Hiscox, and this is a special edition of Morning Live. For the past 20 years, it's been my privilege to connect with Canadians. And this fall, we're taking the show on the road, connecting in communities coast to coast. This morning, we're in Hudson, Quebec, about an hour and a quarter's drive to the west of Montreal. Well, that's an hour and a quarter's drive when traffic's good, and these days it's often not very good, hence the steady stream of students and commuters we're seeing arriving to catch the last of 3 morning trains into the city. Swelling population, straining infrastructure, and a shifting status quo that many would rather preserve. We spent a great day with Chloe yesterday doing interviews and preparing for our broadcast today. It's been a while since I was in Hudson. It's just as beautiful as I remember for sure, but boy, is it booming.
It is, definitely, and it's especially attractive for young families because of its proximity to Montreal and its beautiful agricultural landscape. And for the most part, some homes are also more affordable than the island of Montreal. And with this exponential growth, it also comes new challenges.
Mornings waiting for the school bus can be long. Jaden and his younger brother Chad keep each other busy. They pack their toys and activities for the bus ride, which can take up to an hour one way.
Car is sick, long bus rides.
The reason for this long commute, the family lives in Saint-Zotique, and the closest English school is a few towns over in Saint-Lazare. Their mom says it isn't close, but she chose her children's school because it's bilingual.
In this school where my kids go, they have a waiting list because they have so many registration and they can't take all the kids.
The family isn't alone. Many schools in the region, both French and English, are over capacity.
We are experiencing a population boom and we're running out of space.
The English school board responsible for the territory is trying to adapt and create more space.
We'll be adding some portable classrooms to some of the schools in this region.
The Vaudreuil-Soulanges area is one of the fastest growing in Quebec. Over the past 20 years, the population has nearly doubled, from 104,000 residents to 170,000.
There's an exodus from island of Montreal, so a lot of people come here, buy houses, build houses.
Residential construction in Vaudreuil-Soulanges went up nearly 300% in 2024 compared to the year before. But as the population grows, so does the need for services, including healthcare. Right now, there is no hospital in the Vaudreuil-Soulanges region.
A lot of people are going to Ontario, to Hawkesbury, to the hospital. They go to Valleyfield, but it's completely overcrowded. Going to Lakeshore is difficult because of the bridge.
A new $22.6 billion hospital is being built. It's set to gradually open to the public in 2028. The mayors in the region hope that different levels of government will invest more in the territory, so towns have the resources to serve growing populations. Meanwhile, the school board is hoping to get provincial funding for a new school in the municipality of St. Polycarp.
We are working with that city to build an English school to serve that population, but then also the neighboring small towns.
So the mom who I spoke with in the story, Marissa Leboeuf, says that having a school in St. Polycarp would be amazing for her family as well as many others in the community.
So schools, Judy Kelly's coming to join us here this morning when we talk about healthcare, Mère Lachance. Also one of our guests this morning will be talking about these in more detail. But what other types of infrastructure, Chloe, are feeling the pressure from this increase?
Yeah, so water and sewage. So some municipalities get their water from the Outaouais or the St. Lawrence River, and the majority, about 18 of the 23 municipalities, get their water from the ground. And what's complicated about groundwater is that it's difficult to see what the capacity is at any given time. So of course, there's a number of different studies that are done every single year, and different municipalities are looking at different options, but they're hoping to get more provincial funding to be able to answer that big demand that they're seeing population-wise.
Can you hear the train? That's the train. Let me just check. Your train has arrived. If you've missed a train, it's 7:30, and it ties in because that's the last of the 3 morning commuter trains that go from Hudson into the city. You saw that at the beginning of the hour. Traffic is a big part of the thing too, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But it all ties into the infrastructure pressures. And again, the timing of our visit is really perfect because November 2nd looms, and that's the day for municipal elections across the province. How are these issues affecting things as you're seeing them and covering them?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race to follow. I think one challenge that the different mayors are going to have to face and address is how do they balance this growing number of people who are coming, who are moving here, and keeping the charm of the community.
For the wider region where we are this morning, let's look at the data that involves Montreal. The price of a typical home in Montreal, $581,000. And that's a peak in what has been a steep climb. As you look at how the prices have ramped up, going back 1.2% increase from August to September, 3.2% over the last 6 months. It is double that over the last year and up almost 45% from 5 years ago. So with those prices going up, some people in Montreal are deciding to move out. Their search for an affordable place to live is expanding right across the region in communities that you see on the map. And it's a move and a push that we haven't seen to this degree in decades. But it's affecting communities like these: Vaudreuil-Dorion, Saint-Sauveur, Morin Heights, Saint-Lazare, Piedmont, and my location, which is Hudson, about an hour and a quarter's drive outside of Montreal. Sarah Levitt is our national correspondent. She's based in Montreal and brings us extraordinary coverage out of that city. But she has come west, as so many are, to tell us the story, really the bigger picture that speaks to some of those numbers, Sarah.
Yeah, and I came just for the day, but some people are really coming forever to make this area and perhaps the Laurentians home. And it's supposed to get worse. There's projections from Quebec Stats Institute that says young families are going to leave, and a lot of it is driven by the high cost of living in Montreal.
So as we come in, we're going to have the nice mudroom.
Elliot Dumas is ready for the big move. He used to live in Montreal, but now, alongside his girlfriend, they're building their dream home in Saint-Sauveur, about an hour out of the city.
Fresh air, more space, again, affordability, and I always wanted to, if ever we raise a family, to raise it in an easier environment.
Dumas is not alone, and as a real estate agent, he says there's a reoccurring theme for why others leave the city for country life.
Affordability. So, you can, in many cases, you can have a house for the price of a 2-bedroom condo in Montreal.
More and more families are leaving Montreal. According to Quebec Statistics Institute, more than 120,000 Montrealers are projected to move to other regions in the province by 2030. Experts say the cost of living and lack of housing are big reasons why. While rents in Vancouver and Toronto remain higher, low rents in Montreal are a thing of the past. The average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment has gone up 71% since 2019. Young, middle-class couples may buy a condo, but then...
When you want to have 2 or 3 kids, usually the possibilities in Montreal are less common than in the suburbs.
Yeah, I'm sad to leave this place.
For Guillaume Nicodème and his wife, who rented this apartment in Montreal for the past 10 years, the move out to the eastern townships wasn't their first choice.
It's getting so expensive that we are at mortgage price. Closer to that feels weird. Yeah, it feels strange, and I'm kind of sad about that part.
There are, though, growing pains to population growth in some rural areas. Certain towns in the Laurentians have halted development permits because current water and sewage infrastructures can't handle that many residents. Dumas says, though, they're catching up, and he encourages others to try out the country.
It's just easier life, I would say, in general.
a different lifestyle and one that is certainly not as expensive as in Montreal.
So let's talk about Montreal. There are about 1,100 municipalities in the province of Quebec, all of which are going to the polls on November the 2nd, mandated to do so on the first Sunday of November. So Montreal looking for council, but also someone to replace Mayor Valérie Plante. How are some of these issues playing out in the Montreal campaign?
Well, it's one of the big issues is retaining that population because obviously 60% of Montreal's revenues come from taxes, and property taxes are a big part of that. And one particular aspect that has been brought up over and over again in this campaign is housing. And we speak about pricing, and part of the reason that those prices are up is because there's just a lack of housing. And so various different approaches, mostly similar, fast tracking housing when it comes to apartment buildings, but also homes, as well as putting in low income housing. So that's a big push from many of the mayoral candidates in Montreal.
Housing, education, healthcare, these are all issues in Montreal. We're hearing in some of the other municipalities we are visiting. Access to healthcare in English is an issue for millions, 1.2 million people off the island and many more on island. Of course, there's a little bit of breaking news on that front this morning, Sarah.
Yeah, this is coming from the federal government as part of their attempt to bolster the official languages in Canada, but particularly here in the province of Quebec, we're looking at a minority English-speaking community that sometimes lack that access to healthcare. And so federal government announcing $52 million over the next few years into 2028, specifically meant to make services, healthcare services, more accessible. Part of it is recruiting more people that speak English, also training people in English, but also really making it about access in the region so that they can go and they can get the help they need in the language that they speak.
That's interesting. As you say, minority in the province. Here where we are in Hudson, Quebec, majority Anglophone community, interestingly enough. And last hour, as Sarah and I were talking, had a show of hands. They're just having their coffee and a chat right now, but a very big issue for the people here, and it will be in many of the municipalities that will be voting on November the 2nd. Can't thank you enough for all of your coverage and for joining us this morning, Sarah.
It was really a pleasure. And you know what? We're going to miss you a lot. We're really going to miss you a lot.
Don't be saying that. But Sarah and I we were, of course, in Paris for the Olympics, and it was a wonderful experience. And Sarah brings you excellent coverage of the Quebec story, and you'll continue to do so. I'll be watching. Thank you so very much for today. Sarah Levitt reporting at the start of this hour on the exodus out of Montreal because of affordability issues, cost of living and housing. And one of the destinations for the people leaving the city is where we are today. We're in Hudson, but the overall region, the Vaudreuil-Soulanges area, you've heard us mention that in terms of population growth. And you've also heard me mention throughout our cross-Canada tour that our visit here today coincides with a major CBC expansion in local journalism. Boots on the ground reporting in communities that CBC believes deserve more coverage. So in this region, it's growing so quickly, there are 2 new bureaus. One in Hudson, and you've already met Chloe, and then there's another in the region of Laurentians, Lanaudière. Andy Bennett is our new reporter for there. She doesn't really need an introduction to people in this area, though, because she was a sports reporter for Daybreak on CBC Radio 1 for years. Then she went on to produce a very well-known sports journalist locally, Mitch Melnick. She's back with CBC, and she's going to be the Laurentian Lanaudière. And welcome to our program, Andy. It's nice to see you.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
I don't always travel with a live audience and musicians, and it's not always like this.
No kidding. What an act to have to follow. My goodness.
If you wouldn't mind just singing this. Anyway, for your region, the Laurentians, Lanaudière, I'm thinking of people who ski, they'll know that so well. But for the national audience, explain your region that you're going to be covering.
Yeah, it is a huge geographical territory, Laurentians and Lanaudière. And you talked about the places that people might recognize, the more familiar names for skiing, Mont Tremblant, Saint-Sever. You have the cross-country ski capital of the Laurentians where I live, Morin Heights. Some of the best rock climbing in the province, tucked away in Lanaudière. So that's really, lots of biking, lots of hiking, forest, mountains. It's that love of the outdoors that I think really unites everyone who lives up north.
And in terms of drawing, I can see why people would be drawn to it. It is so beautiful, and as you say, the quality of life, and if you love the outdoors. But that too, again, creating some of the pressures that we're talking about. Where are you seeing those chiefly?
Yeah, it really has grown. Like, if you look at the latest census data, you can see how much the population has grown in the Laurentians. You talk about some of the lower Laurentians, like Piedmont, Saint-Sever, Morin Heights. They had a bump between 13 and 18%, which is 3 to 4 times the provincial and national average. So it definitely has been putting some pressure on the infrastructure around the Laurentians.
Okay, so these are the kinds of stories that you'd be looking to tell. Tell me a little bit how it's gone so far and what you're finding.
The great thing about the Laurentians, they still have that small town mentality. They still, you know your neighbors, they help each other out, they're very involved in their community. As you know, that leads to very rich storytelling. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to, but it definitely is like the worst kept secret of Laurentian living, because you have seen this huge population growth. We have seen an increase in traffic. That Highway 15 going into the Laurentians or out of the Laurentians is very clogged a lot of the time. It has made a pretty digestible commute. That used to be about an hour. Now you're looking at upwards of an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. So it's really getting more difficult to get in and out of the Laurentians, as well as the impact on rural highways. So you have a lot more volume on these rural highways. So we saw it led to a lot more washouts in the spring. So you have things like that going on. But really the critical issue that responds to the growth in population in the Laurentians is the lack of funding to the health and social services. So that has been an issue going on 30 years, and it continues. I remember I was speaking with the Coalition Santé Laurentide. That's the health commission that communicates directly with the health minister for funding. They were sounding this alarm since before COVID, so even before we saw a bigger boom in the population. And it just, the funding has not kept up with the population growth. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you have 1 in 5 residents in the Laurentians that don't have a family doctor. We are ranked 4th in population in the province, and yet, according to the Coalition Santé, they're always battling for last place for funding. So that is something that I'm hearing from some of the mayors that I've been speaking to recently as a bit of an issue in the Laurentians.
Traffic, health services, other services stretched. We've talked all morning about how the province of Quebec, its municipalities are heading to the polls on November the 2nd. Are these issues that are playing prominently in municipal campaigns?
It is. There are some very interesting mayoral races happening in the Laurentians. A few mayors have already been elected by acclamation. But one of the common threads I hear mayors talking about is it's trying to find that balance between keeping up with the population growth and preserving the natural beauty. And they have the added challenge of the issue of cottagers, which of course we'd love to have cottagers coming to the Laurentians, but these are people that used to be coming up for short stays. Now they're staying longer with remote working. They're essentially living in the Laurentians, using a health service that is already stretched to the limit. So these are the types of things that we're hearing come up when you talk about mayoral races.
All right, we'll look forward to the storytelling. We are in Hudson, Quebec, and Hudson, as I've been telling you, 5,500 people in this community, majority Anglophone. And there is some breaking news that has drawn some particular interest here for the people behind me at the Cardinal Brewery. Ottawa announcing it's stepping in to support English language health services across Quebec with an investment of $52 million or thereabouts. The MP for Vaudreuil-Soulanges says the needs of Anglophones and of allophones, those are people whose first language is neither English nor French, their needs to this point not being met.
I've heard multiple times from my constituents that they've gone to receive health services and unfortunately not been able to get answers or be well understood.
Health Canada That MP is here, incidentally. I didn't realize that he's just outside. We have to bring him in to talk to him, Peter. But anyway, investing in money and programs across Quebec until 2028, $20 million going to McGill University to help train healthcare workers in English. The rest to Community Health and Social Services Network, which does outreach and advocacy for English-speaking patients. The funding is coming from the federal government's plan to protect and promote the official languages in this country. 1.2 million Anglophones live off island, so very receptive audience here where I am in Hudson to word of that $52+ million investment. Let's talk more about what government is doing, addressing some of the pressures and the strains and the changes that we have talked about. The mayor, incumbent mayor, up for re-election for Saint-Lazare is with me, Geneviève Lachance. You saw her in Chloe's report talking about the need for a hospital locally. And I'm delighted to have the chance to talk about it with you in person. Thank you for coming here. I was talking to the MP for Les Pays d'en Haut. He had to go into Ontario to drive into another province to get here because of the traffic. How was your drive in to our location?
It's a pretty short 4-minute drive, so it's good.
Oh, perfect. Because we've talked about how traffic is straining.
It is.
Is that an issue in Saint-Lazare as much or maybe elsewhere?
Yes, there's a lot of construction going on right now just around the hospital, so people trying to transit around the region, it's very difficult. The Ile-Tourte bridge as well is causing a lot of traffic nightmares, so it's been difficult for months and months to travel around the region.
It sounds that we had Lita Polson was reporting on that and the anticipation for it opening up fully next year. I'll hope for you because it is very snarled. I'm wondering, as you campaign municipal elections across the province on the 2nd of November, what are you hearing from people in your community in terms of what's on their mind right now?
Well, of course, security on the road is always a worry. They're worried about this added traffic with people coming, more and more people coming, living here. They're also worried about the development and how we're going to be developing the region with the incoming hospital. We know that we will bring at least 4,000 more employees here and, everything that comes around the hospital. So people are a bit worried of all the change that it will bring to our municipalities.
So that's interesting. So as we learned in Chloe's report, there is a hospital being built, and you need it. Just speak to the need. Just how much strain is the healthcare system under presently that's going to be helped by this hospital?
Well, Vaudreuil-Soulanges is about 160,000 in population, and we have no hospital to serve our region. So we usually will go to either Valleyfield or the Lakeshore. A lot of people are going to Ontario to get service.
To Hawkesbury.
So it's really much needed, and it's been needed for many, many years. So we're very happy that it will soon be here.
But it's still a couple of years away. So they're still going to have to go elsewhere for the health care.
Of course, yes.
But as you said, the double-edged sword, the component to all of that is if the 4,000 people arrive, where will you house them? What supports are in place? So how are you preparing for that?
Well, we started in Saint-Lazare preparing a couple of years ago, knowing what's coming. So, looking at the space that we have and how we're going to build. So instead of building single-family homes, we will build multi-family home housing so that we can have more people and offer different type of housing for different revenue, different needs. So we're really preparing ahead of that to be sure that we can accept all these people coming and be prepared. Although the infrastructure was also put in place, we do have a cap of, the limits that we can welcome. So infrastructure is always a struggle.
Water and sewage and roads, and you said housing.
Exactly.
Schools?
Yes.
How will you serve for
Yes.
schools?
Well,
will you be able to answer that?
Yeah, we have to build 3 new schools on our territory just in Saint-Lazare, 2 French elementary and 1 English elementary school. So if the population comes, we have to give them service, and that includes the schools and daycares and all that comes with that.
So I'm interested. You were chosen mayor by acclamation last time, so in the role. When you were getting into politics, did you anticipate the magnitude of the issues that you were going to be dealing with?
Oh, we saw it coming. We saw it coming with climate change. We knew that was going to be something to really pay attention to and try to find solutions. But everything else that comes with it, financial struggles for municipalities as well. Every year we try to, close our budgets, and it's a struggle. So all that, I think it's stuff that we need to address.
And one of the things that we've learned from our reporting here today is that so much of this pressure is because of changes within Montreal. It's not affordable in Montreal. You can't find housing in Montreal. So people are looking to communities like Hudson, like yours in Saint-Lazare. Is there good affiliation or working together, collaboration to address these issues jointly?
Between municipalities?
Yes.
I think regionally we talk about it all the time when we address all the diversity also that's coming to our neighborhoods. We're not used to certain population coming here. It's been pretty stable for a lot of years. Now we're getting a lot more of immigrant families coming. So that requires adaptation, and we have to find ways to connect with each other. That's also a struggle sometimes. Yeah.
Changing nature, changing makeup, and certainly brand new pressures.
Yes.
Listen, thank you for coming, taking a little bit of time away from campaign. Has it been quite an active time?
Very.
Very active?
Very active.
November 2nd is fast approaching.
Can't wait.
Listen, all the best, and thank you again for the time.
Thank you.
Incumbent Mayor from Saint-Lazare, which is, I have excellent memories of trail riding on a beautiful horse on the trails of Saint-Lazare. I keep it in my mind.
Beautiful.
A beautiful area, part of this area.
Thank you.
As we continue to broadcast live from this bustling region, Vaudreuil-Soulanges, the mayor of Saint-Lazare. This is one of Hudson's historic churches. It was the Wyman Memorial United Church, built in 1907. Over the years, congregation numbers declined, repair costs rose, and eventually the congregation moved out entirely to Saint-Lazare. What to do with the building? Well, they sold it. It's still a house of worship, but for a new and growing community in Hudson. This former United Church is now a Sikh Gurdwara. This is inside the Gurdwara Guru Nanak Darbar. It is a house of worship and so much more. And Raj Singh is meeting us here. Thank you for welcoming me in.
Thank you very much for coming here.
I was going to say, I'm probably a little early to wish you Happy Diwali, aren't I? Next week.
You're right, that answer, because we didn't start a celebration yet, but it will be starting with this weekend. And you will see this will be a big and huge things.
Is this all lit up and beautiful lights?
Mostly you will see that whole light things here and decorations for all of inside and outside.
Beautiful. Now, explain this and this gentleman, what this is, Raj.
Yeah, this is actually this is our, in Sikhism. This is a holy book.
Yes.
Things. We have like all sacred pictures of all our gurus.
Yes.
And our associates with that one, which one they wrote this holy book. So that's our main part of the holy book, okay? Because it comes over there, and Mr. is a Granthi Singh, like the Granthi Singh is a priest.
Okay.
So he's taking care of his reading.
Care of the holy book.
Yeah, he reads the holy books, and he's taking care of all things like how it is open when the closing.
Yes.
And the daytimes, So
and that is his responsibility.
Yeah.
And you are here now in this beautiful place in what was a United Church before. How did you happen to move in here?
That's our good luck, we can say it's a very good luck for it's Hudson peoples. They are living in surrounding areas. They are very anxious that they want some kind of gurdwaras in this area. So we were looking at the place, but in the meantime, we came to know that when there is a church is going to be things. I want to say thanks to the church guy because they want to give to Sikh. Even they try some other peoples too, even IGA, those peoples, but they didn't take them. So
because the congregation moved to Saint-Lazare, I think, and then this was going to be empty, and they welcomed you in. Is that right?
Yes.
And what was happening? Why did the Sikh community need this space in this part of Quebec? Was the community growing, or what was this responding to?
I think that because it's a community, especially from the trucking business. There is some construction business and the taxi business. There's a lot of communities that grown up here. Mostly people's moving from Montreal to this island. Oh, sorry, it's not island, it's Vodri area.
Off island,
so
that's
it's like
right.
it's coming to Hudson and Saint Lazare and Vodri Dorian, and now the people are going to Saint Lope, you know. So this one, the people need a center of community, okay? The center, this Gurdwara is not a place of worship. It's also known as a center of community. So the community get together here and they do whatever they want to do, the things together. So they do here.
So this is learning, this is teaching, this is worship. It's all in this spot. It's an important spot for your community. And what is happening to the community since you opened here in 2021?
Yes.
You moved in. What has happened to the community since? Has it continued to grow?
Over the past 4 years, if you see that this Gurdwara is continue growing. So the community is growing here. Since the community is growing here, the Gurdwara is growing here. So now the youth and children, they are taking the parts of here. Okay, they are learning here Punjabi. They are learning the classes of like music for those things, and voluntary services they are doing like here. Okay, so they comes here in the weekend. And they do.
So a very important gathering place.
Yeah,
a gathering place for Sikhs in this region. How have the people of Hudson received you? Or how have you been welcomed in Hudson?
The people in Hudson are very cooperative. Because since last 2 weeks ago, we made a big celebration outside of 2 days. Okay, 2 day program was outside. There was like 100 of our congregations came out and they're singing over there because they're celebrating we have programs here, and the community beside the peoples, they're asking, hey guys, how can we participate and we can do, and they're very enjoying it, and they were like, because mostly outside program we don't do, you know, we do mostly inside program, okay. But now when we start our sites too, and the people are very cooperative, and they're telling us like they want to participate inside and they want to come inside to help some as a voluntary too.
And learn, I'm sure. Is it a surprise to you? I mean, we think of Hudson, majority Anglophone, and suddenly there's a Gurdwara in the middle of this little town, and it might be surprising to some people.
That's I can say that was surprising, but I think that the people in Hudson, they learned already about Sikhism, okay? They know a lot. I talk with some more people. They talk more about Sikhism. They know that what is Sikhism, and some people they say thanks to us that you came here.
What do you see as your community's future here in Hudson?
Right now we are focusing on our youth, okay? So from here, okay, youth, because we want to bring youth all together and the children. We want to bring it here the full time, so like at least 2 days on Saturday, Sunday, and that one we want to cover those things, okay? And the celebrations are going, you know, every Gurdwara, everything is going over there. But here, what we plan that for youth and for children, now we are working on this one, okay?
So you're going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Than here. Even more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for welcoming us in. And for next week, happy Diwali.
Thank you very much to you guys, and thanks for coming here. And
thank you, Raj.
Happy Diwali too. And you guys are always welcome, okay? Because here's community kitchen is always open for everyone. Everyone can here without background, without any faith. So everyone can visit here. So all are welcomed, okay? Warmly welcomed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
We're learning this morning how many Montrealers are escaping the city for suburbs like Vaudreuil-Dorion. It can be a sanctuary. And I don't just mean for the two-legged creatures. We have come to a horsetail. It's a rescue center for horses in need of healing and a haven. And that's exactly what this is, a very special place. And Jennifer Gentili runs the place. She's the executive director. Thank you for welcoming us.
Thank you, Heather, for coming out.
We're not getting a lot of attention. It's feeding time, and they are otherwise occupied.
They're very occupied with their food. Absolutely.
Well, they are being well taken care of. as you do every day. Tell me a little bit about your mission here at A Horsetail.
Well, our mission is we rescue horses who are in need, whether it's through ex-Kalesh horses or ex-SPVM horses who may have medical issues and need to be retired.
SPVM, just so everyone understands, these are Montreal, City of Montreal.
Yes.
The horse unit.
Yes.
And they are here too.
We have 3 of them. We have 2 all the way at the back, and there's 1 that's inside the barn right now.
So Kalesh horses, police horses.
We have ex-race horses, ex-jumpers, also some who have been surrendered because their owners couldn't take care of them anymore. And they reach out to us, and if we can take them in, we're glad to take them in and care for them.
And how many do you have now?
At the moment, we have 13. Our max is 14, only because we want to make sure in inclement weather, we're able to house them inside the barn.
So they've come here, 13 now. How long have you been doing this at A Horsetail?
It's been since 2013. I've only been here for 8 years, but A Horsetail's been founded since 2013.
And in that time, how many horses have you cared for?
About 50 to 60
Really?
have come through these gates, apart from the ones that we have right now. So yes.
Once they arrive here, I had planned to bring my riding gear, but I can't ride these beauties. What do they do? How do they spend their day once they land here?
They spend their day with their friends in their paddocks, eating, relaxing, grazing. They go out to pasture sometimes, depending on how the ground is, how they're doing. And they're horses. They just get to be themselves, and we ask nothing of them other than to just be and enjoy their time here.
Their time, and you will have them until
the end. If we do adopt some out, if they can be adopted out, our herd right now will be with us until the end of their days.
So we should know their stories then, so people know. So you mentioned, so who was in this paddock?
So in here we have Zach and Maya. They're both ex-Kalesh horses from Montreal. Zach is about 29, and his brother is actually in the next paddock, and his name is Jesse. He's our oldest. He's 31, which is about 93 years old in our years.
3-1, is that right? 3-1 for a horse year.
Yes.
93, yes. Looking very spry.
Very spry. He's in really good health,
majestic.
And so is Zach. They have really great genes. So these are Belgian horses. They're drafts, and they're bigger, and they were used to pull carriages.
To pull the carriages. Way down there.
Yes.
Tell me the story of Buddy.
Buddy was the first horse of A Horsetail. In 2013, A Horsetail was founded by Carrie Fenoff. And Buddy was a stallion that was with the Refuge R&R in Ontario. He ended up being gelded, and he came to us, and he's been with us ever since.
The very first, and still.
And he's still here with his best friend Rocky, who's in the paddock somewhere eating.
We have to make sure we spend some time on this beautiful woman over here.
Yes.
This lady is your feature horse of the month. That's Princess.
That's Princess. She's our beauty. She's a Belgian also. She's 22 years old, and since she's been with us, she's gained 500 pounds.
You do take good care of them.
We do.
500 pounds.
Yes.
I like how you feature a different horse every month for donors, because obviously donations are important to
Exactly.
your So are volunteers. Tell me about who runs this place. I mean, I'm thinking of the feeding and the mucking out and everything that comes.
We have over 100 volunteers who are dedicated to 3 feeds a day, 7 days a week. They come out through snowstorms, windstorms, any storm, and they're here dedicated to taking care of our horses. We're very, very blessed to have them with us.
Why are you dedicated? Why is this an important place to you?
For me, it's just a place that provides community for a lot of people. We're also very community-based. We have different programs that bring community in here to enjoy the benefits of the horses. The horses give us so much. It's hard to explain the feelings that we get when we come into the rescue. We spend the day here, and then we leave just a calmer, more peaceful person. So I benefit just from being here.
In this environment with these beautiful creatures.
Yeah, and all the wonderful volunteers who become like family, really, they do.
I bet they do. So you're getting as much as the horses are, maybe?
I think I'm getting more. There's only so much we can give them, but they give us so much more. They really do.
Well, you give them beautiful care as long as they're on this earth. And thank you for welcoming us, as I mentioned. It is A Horsetail. It is a very special tale. And Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you, Heather, for coming out.